Lydia and I are teaching creating an opportunity, putting in your documents, doing the commissions tab, so kind of creating it from start to finish. I just want to say at the beginning that neither Lydia or I do this on the agent side very often. We see it a little differently on our admin side, and things look a little differently. Even when we help and create something for you guys, it looks a little different than your side does. So if I stumble at all, I apologize. It's just that I don't do it a ton from the agent side. So yeah, so I'm gonna start, I'm talking with the very basics. So this is happening after or around the same time you've made your appointment and you have your contract. So when you get your contract signed either by your buyer or your listing, this is when you need to let us know on a listing side that you're submitting a listing and we're going to put it into MLS, or that you have a buyer transaction. And it's also, Command is also a great place to store all of your documents for your own records. So I'm going way to the beginning and I'm actually logging into Command. You're just searching for KW Command and you're logging in. Oh, I was going to show you how to log in, but it just gives you your username and password. It brings you into Command. Mine looks a little different than yours because I have that Command and C in there. That's the Market Center uses for their Command. But you can see there's Command and Connect. I don't know if you guys know, but Connect is where a ton of unlimited amount of training videos are. So you can always feel free to check that out. So over here on the left-hand side are what they call the applets. So we are going to be working through the opportunities applet, because then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a listing, saying that if you had a new listing, had the listing docs, you're going to submit it into Lydia. Now for the listing to be input into MLS. And then after that, we're going to take it to when we get the PA. So we are going to go into, and this applet over here is our opportunities. So we're going to go into our opportunities. This is what your screen will look like. This shows all of your listings, all of your buyers, any of your leases. And this also shows all of your opportunities. So these are all the either listings or sales. You can see here, there's buyers and listings. This shows all of your opportunities that you've ever created. When I'm over here on my name, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do create opportunity. We are going to create a listing. So you guys can see listing has definitely a few more steps because it's creating a listing that needs to be tied to a listing in our internal listing system. I'll show you that in a second, but we're creating a listing. It's the Market Center. It'll automatically default to Lake Minnetonka. If you're on a team, you would get an option to select a team there. The opportunity type, I'm going to select a listing. The owner of it's going to be me. The client, this is where, stepping back, clients are going to come from your contacts. So you would have already had to put a contact in here. So under this second applet right here, our contacts, this is where you would have put in your contacts information. Hopefully you had them in there pretty early on because you've been working with them and stuff like that. I am going to be my own client. I should come up. There I am, Heather Knutson with my personal email. I'm going to go ahead and select myself. I'm going to name it. You can name an opportunity whatever you want. When you have a buyer and you don't have an address for him yet, you usually do just save the opportunity name as your buyer's name. But it's actually really helpful for Lydia and I if you save opportunity names by address. So this is something you could always edit later if you just named it Heather Knutson buyer. And you could always add the address to it later, but it's actually really helpful for us if you name it as the address. I'm going to name it today's date, 7/23/24. I'm going to name it the address of the property, Test Street. It's just kind of helpful for us if it's the name of the address because we search everything by address. Everything to us is done by address. We don't have to fill in. You'll also see everything with an asterisk is what you have to fill in. Things without an asterisk, you don't have to fill in. I'm going to put my commission rate of, you could put an estimated close date, but estimated listing price. This is, saying you're just creating the listing from scratch. I am going to put in though my 3.3% commission. And we have opportunity phases and opportunity stages. An opportunity phase is if you were working with you were working with this listing with this client. You've now just gone out, you've met with them, you've maybe gone on an appointment, you haven't got it signed yet. You could leave it in this cultivate stage. You could change it to appointment after you go here. We are going to select active and act like we have a signed listing contract and we're going to make an active listing. And you'll see, if you can kind of see even behind here, here's all the different stages of where you can have your opportunities in. Just kind of helps you keep track of them and can move them along. Then you can search by them, everything. You can always go into opportunities, create a fake one like I am and play around a little bit. I'm going to make it an active and I'm going to change it to hot just because we've got to sign paperwork and we're making it, we're going to be making it a listing. Oh, I'm sorry. So look at that. See, I didn't even know that. When you select cultivate, you have different stages. Change it to active. I have different stages and I'm in staging, showing, negotiations. I'm going to put it that I'm going to be starting to show it. So there's different options, different phases, everything you can either drag and move them around. And it's just kind of helping you keep track of where your listings are and what stage they're in. I'm going to go ahead and create it from here. Are you trying to create it? Are you trying to make like an actual fake one? Oh, I'm sorry. I know mine. I just did mine. Opportunity name, you can't. Yep, you just need to save it. You just need to create a name there. Yeah, create any name. That's where we usually put the address. Oh, so I made I made today's date and Tech Street. So that's where you can go ahead. I don't know if I can get back there.
Back to the setup.
Here at, if we wanted to edit this details, we're in details. And we could go to.
You scroll down and there's an edit at the bottom. Maybe that.
Well, there's those little pictures.
Oh, you edit each one. Here we
Yeah.
go. Like here, you would edit this one. So this is kind of where you are. So each one has an editing option with the pencil up here. It's kind of hard to see when it's not lit up like that. Did you get it created? And then you have to make sure you have your contact information in there. Opportunity phase, you can select that as the down arrow. For you right there. And tab, and I'll see if it gives you. That is pretty much it. Yeah, can you scroll up a little bit? You have to select listing. So select listing. Now it'll be available for you. So now you can change it to active, cultivate wherever you want. You can change it. Mine is I'm doing active. And then I'm doing, yep. Yep, and you can create it from there. So now you're in your opportunity. So now your screen looks just like mine. So this is now, we are in our opportunity for listing 72324 Test Street. You can see there's details about the listing here. This is going to be marketing material. Marketing material can already be, marketing material can already be made for you. You have everything that you need right here. So just keep this in mind. If you ever wanted to, you could click on any one of these, change the wording, change anything, and you would have marketing material right there. So that's nice and handy. And you can do all of that through designs. Kelly's done classes on designs. If you want more detail on that, feel free. We can reach out to me later and to Kelly, and everyone can help us with that. What we are looking at today is document. This is where we're putting all of our documents. This one we're doing as a listing. If this was a buyer, this would say consultation. We're doing this as a listing. We have listing, under contract, and close are our document options. You can see under listing, you can see our exclusive right to list. You can see what's required, the exclusive right to list, the agency, the KW disclosure, seller's property disclosure. So you can see which documents are required. And now this is, like you have all of your signed documents and you are going to submit this in to, which goes to Lydia. Once you hit submit, you're going to submit it into Lydia. She's going to put it into MLS. That's what we're doing right now. So we are going to take these documents. I have them downloaded on my computer. I can just click here. You can also take these can also import from DocuSign. Okay. but I'm gonna go ahead here. I'm gonna go into my downloads and I am going to select my exclusive right to list. I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna put it in there. So you can see now I have my exclusive right to list. If we are going to, let's say I'm gonna submit this into Lydia, I'm gonna make it withhold. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna find my document. I have a certificate to withhold right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that withhold in there. Lydia, can you add a note onto just this one?
No.
No, so you add a note up here?
Yes.
Okay, so now we are submitting this into Lydia, and we're gonna ask Lydia to withhold this. Not everybody includes notes. It's kind of helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think going forward, I'm gonna send out an email that says, if you don't email me and if you don't leave a note, I'm not doing anything. with
Yeah,
it.
because what
I
happens,
know.
what happens is when I submit this into Lydia, usually what happens is I have everything in here. I have my agency, my disclosure, my MLS input, my certificate of withhold. I may even have my coming soon form. So I'm submitting it into Lydia and she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, so I would come up here, I would go up to this add comment. I would say,
And you can tag me in this, so
Yeah.
I'll get a notification.
so I could actually do like at Lydia, right?
Yep.
So I do at, I start typing her name. I can select her and I can say, please, withhold, or please
Yep,
withhold on
please withhold.
MLS.
Yep.
Please withhold on MLS. So now Lydia knows exactly what to do. How do I make that?
Yeah.
So now I've sent that to Lydia. Lydia now sees that. I now, what is the most important part about this is that you have to submit this. You have to submit this to the MC. So that's the only way Lydia knows what to do. That note's been put there, but now I go ahead and I hit submit to MC. I submit it. The status has changed from open to submitted. This is now in Lydia's queue. The only, something to keep in mind, Lydia and I only look at opportunities that are submitted via listed. Under contract, Lydia and I don't even see those. Those all go to our compliance officer who audits the file. Lydia and I only see the listed. So if you have an MLS price change, if you have anything else in here, you need to make sure you hit submit so it goes into Lydia's queue. So now it's been submitted to Lydia. Lydia knows that she has this listing to input. She's gonna open it up. She's gonna see the note that says withhold. You're gonna have the withhold form right here. She's gonna go ahead and put it into MLS. Once Lydia is done with it, which I can't really, you know what I'm gonna do here, you guys? Should I log into command and change it to approved? Yeah, so now this is, you guys, this is different. This does not even matter to you guys at all. This is on my admin side is what I'm gonna do here. So you can even see if you look into opportunities. Oh my gosh, we have so many of them right now.
Matt does, we don't.
Yeah, Matt, and see, you can see Matt has all of these listings, anything that's consultation. See, this is my side. You don't need to worry about this. I just want to quick go into the one that I just submitted. And I'm just going to change it to approved. So here it is. Lydia gets it. She knows what to do with it. She can see her note right here. Here's the note asking her to withhold it. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to approved. What else you want to look at is you'll want to see, we will look at these documents and approve them. So if anything's ever returned, you can see right now, this is approved. If you had returned here, there would be a note attached to it telling you why it's returned. Missing seller signature, something. But this is where all of your communication is going to go through with all of your documents. For your listing documents, for your PA documents, everything. Everything's going to come in as approved or returned. Yep. If there's returned, there's always going to be a note on it. And you're going to see this is updated. So again, this is your side. You can now see, you'll be able to know and Lydia's gonna always put an MLS number down here. We're gonna say withhold and the MLS number. When this gets changed to approved, you're gonna know everything's been done. It's an MLS, there's an MLS number there for you. It's been approved and it's all set and it's good to go. Again, if you have, does that all make sense to you guys? Kind of see what you're doing there? Also keeps track of all of your documents. Can
Don't you sign, keep the signed copy of it, DocuSign, download it, and put it here, or
I think there's integration, isn't there, Chris? Do you know that for sure? I asked Jacob.
There might be integration, but I always just download on my computer computer, so I have them here, and then I'll put them.
And I think when you take them directly from DocuSign to here, I don't think it splits
It
that.
doesn't split it up. It puts it in all one document.
That's why I can do
Yeah.
that.
Kind of export it onto your computer and then put them into here. It's going to be I think the easiest
Yeah.
way to do it.
And I think literally everyone except like one agent downloads it to their computer. They don't put it in just. straight
Yeah.
like that.
And it's just easier for us to be able to review and approve all the documents if they're all separated out. So I just want to show you one more thing. I just want to see, so now you can see it's in the approved status. I just want to show you, let's say there's a price change. You know, you have a price change, you want it to go pending, you want to change anything on it. You can go in here, see these MLS change form, and then you also have, we can go through these a little bit. There is your net sheet, because this isn't forms that we always necessarily need to look at, but they're every form that you need for your own document. Your seller's property disclosure, here's your MLS input. We just separated them out for commercial or lot. These are any miscellaneous documents. If you have more than one change form, you have two price changes. You could put your MLS change form up there, or you can put it down here in miscellaneous document. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna tell Lydia that we need a price change. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my price change form. Here's my MLS change form and amendment. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And because we always like to know what we're doing, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna change this to at Lydia again. And I'm gonna say, please change price on MLS. Go ahead and send it. Again, you have to make sure you submit to MC or else we don't see it.
Yeah.
If it's sitting here, you can see that it changed. It did change, but it's still not submitted to us. We have to resubmit to the MCA. It's now been submitted. Resubmitted as it shows here, resubmitted. It's now in our queue that we know we have to do something with the listing, and Lydia's gonna go ahead. Lydia and I both do this. So if Lydia's gone, I'm the one who's gonna be checking this. We're gonna now see this resubmitted in our queue. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna see our note. Says there's a price change. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna see the form, the document right here. Here's our listing change form. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna open it up, and we're gonna know exactly what to change the price form, what to change the price to an MLS. You could do this with changing it to pending. You'll submit on the change form for pending. It shows when we change a listing to pending in MLS, we need the buyer's agent. We need the sale price, or we need
Change it to pending?
yeah, we need the projected close
Yeah.
date. We need who the co-broker is.
Yeah.
So all of that, again, I'm sure you guys have all seen the listing change form, but this is what it looks like. You can change it to pending. We need all this information on here. You can go ahead, fill out this information, put it in here, submit it into Lydia, write a note, please change to pending in MLS. So there we go. Does that make sense to you guys? Yep. So then we come down here, this is under contract. This is all of our PA document. This is your purchase agreement. All of your PA documents are gonna come in here. So you get the signed final PA, it's fully signed. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna put all the documents into here. Earnest money. Earnest money, you can see right here. Earnest money comes in. Lydia and I see earnest money comes in usually through trust funds. You can bring in a check, but it usually comes in through trust funds. Lydia's gonna go ahead and put the earnest money receipt in here. So we're gonna know earnest money, you're gonna see it too. You're gonna see this document added in here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put that in there. You're gonna see that earnest money has been settled. That means it's came in, it's settled, it's through trust funds or via check. We're gonna put that receipt in there, you're gonna see it. Sometimes agents put their own receipt in there, fine. You can go ahead and put your own receipt in there, but we are then gonna add our own receipt to this miscellaneous document. It's a checklist item for us to know that there's earnest money here, we have it on file. So everything, we have every option here for any document that you could possibly need, and then some of them that are required.
Yes. Is it okay to put in there, like, if I get a earnest money receipt from the title company, I put it in there?
Yeah,
just as a
because you'll
document?
probably want your own, we get that
Yeah.
you might want your own receipt, so then we just add our own receipt onto the miscellaneous document,
Mhm.
and we name them. We would name it earnest money receipt, so you would know that it's ours, and we still are gonna put it in there just because we like to have a copy of it too. But it's fine. A lot of agents end up putting their own receipt in there. It's totally fine. We just add ours down to miscellaneous documents. And if you guys don't put anything in there, we put it in the earnest money receipt and you guys could put your own in the miscellaneous document. This is your file. You know, this is essentially like your file. But on some of the things for the office, we do need to put in there. So we can go ahead, we can put in our purchase agreement here. I have it downloaded. I'm gonna put in my purchase agreement. It's in there. Again, this needs to be submitted for compliance review now. Lydia and I are also doing a compliance review on your listing. So we may return it too. But our compliance officer, Matt Brady, does all of our under contract and buyer opportunities. So when this gets submitted, you can see again, we'll submit this to MC. This gets submitted. This is going to Matt Brady for his compliance review.
I still am putting in things for commercial that, don't apply. So I put in that document, you and I talked a while back about, this doesn't apply to commercial, that's still okay.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fine. Yep. Polly's with commercials. She doesn't require every document. And sometimes you still in a required field. Do you have to have a document in a required field before you can submit it? Yep. So you have to have a document in there. So yeah, so Holly does get to put a piece of paper in there that says doesn't apply, it's commercial. But yep, so anything required would have to be, even though I just submitted it.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to put everything in. No, no, no.
Okay, it doesn't, I know what, but I think Holly does it so the compliance officer knows.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
it's not gonna get returned. It's not gonna, cause sometimes it just will stand out, ooh, all these files, all these documents are missing. Matt just might be like, return. Whereas if she
Yeah.
puts it in there.
And
he
Matt
sees it.
returns, like, he's very vigilant. So like, if he thinks, like you said, like if Holly were to submit something without it in there, he would be like, this is missing.
Yeah.
That's why she puts that in there.
Yeah. And Matt will look at it in great detail. And he will return it if there's something missing, if there's a blank, if there's, I mean, he's going through this entire PA. He's looking at it, this entire thing. If something on here wasn't filled out, he would return this. And he will also put a note
Yeah.
in here
He's
why
great.
it's returned.
Hmm.
He's gonna put a note in there that's gonna state clearly, even page number, everything as to why this is returned. You're gonna need to correct it, put in a new one, resubmit it. It's gonna go back to Matt. He'll go ahead and approve that. Lydia and I cannot pay you until that's approved. Your file has to be completely approved and ready to go before Lydia and I can pay you. So yeah, keep that in mind whenever you're submitting documents. And Matt is also Matt Brady. He's our compliance officer. We're happy to give you his email and phone number. You can always reach out to him if you have questions.
Yeah.
And you can always reach out to our broker, Kevin, with any questions on any documents. And he's always happy to help with that too. So. And the last tab is just your closed file. This is where you put your Alta. At the end of every file, at the end of every, after every closing, you're gonna get an Alta, which is gonna come from your title company. It's gonna be the closing statement, the closing costs, everything that's, every number, every expense, everything's gonna be on there for your buyer and seller. You're gonna go ahead, you're gonna put this Alta in here. You're gonna submit that. I didn't download one of those, I'm sorry. But you would put your Alta in here, you would submit it. Lydia and I then know. Lydia and I usually also know because a check comes to us. You guys either deliver a check to us or we get a check overnighted. And so that's how we know when a file needs to be closed because we always have, usually always have a check on our hand. But you want the
check
Alta.
gets overnighted with the Alta, I'll normally.
Yep. Lydia will go ahead and put that Alta in. You'll see it in your file and you'll get to have a copy of it right through there. But that's where we need to see that. And so if that comes, yep, we go ahead and put that in and we can go ahead and that's when we'll start closing out your file. This is the DA. This is DA refers to the disbursement authorization. This is after the closing or closing printout, or
Yeah.
we call it disbursement authorization. It's all the documentation. I should have put one in here. Maybe I could fix that myself one. This is going to show you how you were paid. It shows your breakdown of how you were paid, how much your gross commission was, how much your any company dollar that was taken out, any referrals that were taken out, anything unique to it, any donations you made, and then it's going to show you your net pay. It's going to be a detailed description of everything you've got. So that you'll get after closing. Any questions with that, reach out to Lydia and I. We're always happy to help with that. And that is how you get your file submitted, and approved, and how we get to pay. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, Lydia, do you
I
have?
would say just be real careful about where you're putting things. So like if you were to put the PA here, I'm not gonna look at it because I don't look at that. You just have to make sure you're putting it under contract.
Yeah.
Same thing if you put the exclusive right to list under this tab, I'm not gonna see it because Matt looks at the tab.
Yeah.
So you just have to remember to check which tab you're
Yeah.
under.
And you want to make sure all those listing documents, anything you need Lydia or I to do in MLS, it has to be in that listing file. Your MLS change form to change it to pending might seem like it goes under contract. No, anything that you want to change form or anything that you want Lydia and I to see needs to go under the listing folder.
And you can always send me an email and be like,
Yep.
hey, I just uploaded a price change in the opportunity.
Yep.
You can always.
And we do have a lot of agents that do that. They just send a quick email and just because,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes like any system, something can go down, something can happen, and then, you know, that email is just a nice little backup. And it's just, doesn't need to have a lot of detail. It's just, you know, I submitted a listing in command, needs to be withheld. It's just an extra way that it just, if anything should glitch with command or anything like that, it doesn't happen very often, but you know, anything like that can happen. So this is how we get everything done with a listing. It would be exactly, the only thing that would really be different on the buyer side is that this is going to say, I can actually show you, and this is going to say consultation. And that instead is going to look like, I'll show you one of someone else's. Now remember, this is my document. But you can see they have consultation here, which is your buyer rep agency enclosure, under contract and close. So again, this is where you would put your buyer's PA, could all come underneath here. And this is where you would close. So you can see here, like, this is kind of interesting to show you. This is like Molly, okay? I think Molly is just starting to put in her work, right? She hasn't put these consultation documents. Matt is going to automatically return this. He is going to open this. He's going to see no documents in here. He's going to hit return. If I were you, I would wait till you have all the documents before you submit it. You know, just because you already know Matt's going to return this because that buyer rep document in there. She may be actually working on it right now. I don't know. She could be actually in this opportunity right now, but this will get returned to her saying, we need all of your buyer documents. She may have not meant to hit submit.
Yeah.
She may have meant to just start to put her documents in, and she might have just accidentally hit submitted. It's fine. It's just going to go to Matt. He'll review this and he's just going to return it and say, we need all of your consultation documents.
And the same with this required, it's not there. It's a little red flag. It says it's missing. So he's gonna notice, like, hey, these two aren't there, he'll return it.
And it's okay. I mean, it's no
Yeah,
big
it's not the
deal.
end of the world.
Yeah, it's just telling you, you know, that you're missing this and need this. And he's just returning it and you're gonna put it in and then you're gonna resubmit it. So, yeah. Yep, not a big deal. So just don't worry about that. And if you have any questions about any of the documents, just feel free to reach out to Kevin. He's happy to help with any of that. So, yeah, so now we are gonna go ahead and we are gonna say, you guys have got your Alta. You're all set and we're gonna close it out. This is where we move on to our offers and conditions. Okay, this is what's gonna come to Lydia and I so we know how to pay you. Okay, so we are going to put in, this is gonna ask you for, we're gonna create a new offer. This is gonna eventually make me select the list, right?
Yep.
So we are going to add a new offer. I am going to name this, again, this doesn't necessarily, I don't think it matters what you name it. It doesn't matter to Lydia and I at all, nothing.
Most people just leave it as initial offer.
Yep. We have to now find the address. I named it 72324 Pest Street. Yep. This will automatically pull up every listing that's in MLS that matches your address. Okay, so you need to, if I started typing Minnetonka. So this is, and your list is gonna come right up, right? Your listing, if it's in MLS, it's gonna come up. If this is a deal that's, this is very rare, but can sometimes happen with commercial and things like that. If this listing is not in MLS, you have found a buyer, whatever, you need to create it into, need to create a listing for it in ML and in what's our back called KWLS system. This is rarely gonna happen,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah.
I
It's
think this is
off-market.
rarely gonna happen. This is for off-market listings. The majority of your listings are gonna come up in that search bar. But since I have to tie it to something, because if you're submitting a listing offer tab, it has to be tied to a listing. So yours would normally come up, but I'm gonna just put this in here, and this is what it does look like if you ever wanna see. It's for sale. It's an internal active listing. I'm the listing agent. It's a residential property. I'm gonna say single family detached. The expiration date you can put in here. I'm just gonna put it as 7/31. The original price, 500. The street address, again, it's not going to find the street address because it's not real. You know what I mean? What did I do? Test street. And that's okay. If you can't, you can tap past that and not have to select it. I'm gonna put in the zip code. I am going to come down here. I'm gonna put in Minnetonka, Minnesota, 55305. I'm gonna create and select list. Anything again with an asterisk is going to have to be required. I'm gonna create and select this.
I think
agree.
because you've already.
Yep, nope, I have to understand. I have to agree to the terms. I am agreeing and saying that, like, this would be agreeing to the terms, like, being that this is an off-market listing. There's special rules. You guys, I think, know about things like that, but like with how we'll withhold, you can advertise, but a coming soon, you can only advertise inside. So this is kind of, you're saying here, I understand the rules and agreements of this. Now I can go ahead, did it create it automatically or not? Do I have to find it?
So I put out of there.
Oh, so-
Yeah.
And then I can do, did it find it?
No, that's just the property address. So leave it and then now go back to split.
Does it pull it from the listing that you put in command? Because that's what used to happen. Because with commercial, we're hardly on MLS. So usually it'll just pull. So I can move forward to the next part of it. It just links it to the listing folder that's in command.
Don't you have to put it into KWLS to get it to link to it?
Have.
I think because she already has them in there and they're different units a lot of time. I think that would be why.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I really thought it had to be tied to a listing in KWLS.
For residential, that does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that commercial's different. I wonder if that's it. You mean it's just pulling from your opportunity list?
Well, and there really isn't a place to classify a commercial, except now I've noticed there is a drop down.
Lease tenant or tenant? what?
Well, I know we're working with buyers now, so it's trying to, it makes us classify now, which is great that it's either commercial or not. And then what type of commercial it is, so maybe that's why it can bypass this.
I think it has something to do with it being commercial. I really do. But if it's residential, you need to come in and you need to select this, and your listings are going to be automatically imported into this KWLS system from MLS. So your listing is going to show up here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select, here's my listing that I just created, 500,000 Main Street. I'm going to select it. It's now tied to this opportunity. Property type is residential. That's for Holly's. Holly, I might come over and take a look at it. Is this a new home? Is it resale? I'm gonna say it's resale, lot, farm, ranch. You can select anything, total number of units, it's 1 unit. Seller's agent representation.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd just be yourself.
Yep. Okay, are they pre-approved? Yes, you're gonna have to put in the buyer name. I don't think you have to have them as a contact, but you have to put in a buyer name there. Buyer's representation, remember you guys, anything more that you want to fill out is just more detail that you have. If you put in the buyer's agent representation name in here, you're gonna have it attached to your file forever. You know what I mean? So any information that you want to fill in here is just better for you to have for your file. We will say they've got, they paid 500,000 for the house, not 5 million. 500,000 for the house. They are putting cash down. You have to put something in here. Let's say they're putting down $100,000. Shows a finance amount of $4,000. Again, you don't have to put this in, but you could if you want to have a record of how much, what the rate was at, because command also works as like your algorithms and stuff. It kind of ends up getting smarter the more information you put in there, knows you better, and helps you with any of your future stuff. It actually does. Contract date, we can say was today. We have a projected close date of 8/31, 8/30, and any comments or notes that you wanted to put in here. This would be for yourself. This isn't necessarily for Lydia and I. This is something for yourself. If you wanted to say, you know, anything in there. Buyer agent was super helpful. Hopefully I get to work with them again in the future. You know, any type of note that you wanted to put in there, you can go ahead. We are now going to go ahead and create and accept the offer. New offer is created. It's bringing us now to our commissions tab. This is going into the detail of where you get paid. You can see that since I put in that 3.3% commission, this is, again, you're using your commission. So if you're charging 6%, you're paying out 2.7. I would just put in 3.3. Representing the buyer, put in 2.7 or whatever you're getting paid from the buyer's agent. It fills in all this information automatically. Here's all the information you put in. It says it's 1 unit, it's showing the contract date, the close date. It gives it a transaction ID number, which is what Lydia and I refer to. Here's the commission information. Here's my payment. Here's a detail or just a short breakdown of what it is. Here shows my gross commission amount. The amount that's paid to the office. You can see the company commission that was taken out. This is what comes out from Keller Williams. And this is what comes out to the associate royalty. This is the associate royalty that comes out at 6%. That is capped at $3,000 for every single agent here. And this shows our company commission. If Lydia and I had any deductions, we put them in there. You could see a deduction there. If you had a outside referral, you could go ahead and put it in here. When you have an outside referral, you're going to need their tax ID number, the legal name of their company, and their address. And you're going to need that information. You can always request another co-broker or any type of outside referral for what's called a W-9. They're going to send that to you. That's going to have their tax ID number, their legal company, and their address. You're going to need all of that to put in your outside referral. If you had a bonus, if you had any type of bonus on it, they said that there's $1,000 bonus to the selling agent. You could add that in separately. We don't deduct for E&O or Bold. If we deducted, if you did a donation to KW Cares, that's going to show up here. If you had any other deduction, if Lydia and I deducted, I don't know, you wanted to save $100 on each transaction to go to, I don't know, what would we do a deduction for your monthly invoice?
Yeah.
If we took your monthly invoice out of here, we would do a deduction there. This would be if you wanted to put any notes here for us. So this is notes to the market center. This would be if you wanted to say something like, you know, I can't, if there was something unique, maybe if you had an outside referral, I mean, we'd see it up there, but you could say note outside referral or just, you know, I can't even think of what you would really need to say there.
Sometimes I have found the agent is not a Keller agent, not outside, so it doesn't allow me to put in that agent's
Information.
right.
In
So
the
then that's
outside
what I
referral?
put in notes
Okay.
there.
So, yeah, And these are things, you guys, if you are having trouble putting in an outside referral, don't sit here and spend an hour trying to do this. Call Lydia or I. You know what I mean? Anything here, we don't want you to sit here and play around with it. If for some reason it's not taking it, if for some reason it's just being funky, who knows? But that's with anything in general, in command and opportunities. Always reach out to us, and let us try to help you and save you some time. So, and commercial, the holidays commercial, and commercial can be a little.
Well, and is there any way to bypass that first part, the initial offer thing? Because there's so much in there that doesn't apply to us, that I could just go right to this.
You have to put in that initial offer information. It's the only way you can get to the commission's tab. Yep, and unfortunately, a lot of that is, but even when you put in the sales amount in there, the down payment amount, the earnest money, Lydia and I take all of our information from the Alta.
Yeah.
We are not going to, not to be me, we take everything from the Alta. So if that sale price has changed, you've already submitted this, that sale price has changed, anything's changed on there, Lydia and I's final review is always the Alta. That's how we figure out how to pay you guys. So if anything on there is updated or changed, we will get that information off the Alta and we will see it on there. And that's how we'll know that that's what we're paying from.
If you were to do an outside referral, this is where you just put it in. So if you work with an agent from
We
KW
might have-
Lakes.
Yep, and we
just
should
put it
have,
in there.
and we should have like, if, a referral fee, generally a referral fee is 25%. We're getting $4,125. Can I just search for someone?
I think you
outside?
can add a new agent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have a tag, well, I suppose I could just,
Yeah, so just start typing that, like Matt
Like-
Brady, just put Matt Brady. And then click add new agent. Perfect.
okay, and his phone number, extension, his email, I'm just gonna. His business name, we can say Keller. Now, this should probably come up. Keller Williams. Do we do like Edina?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they
It's,
integrity?
Yeah, but their real name is Kenna.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, here it is. So you can select Edina,
Perfect.
tax ID number. It may not let me continue this because I'm gonna make up a fake one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think it's gonna let me continue on here. But all this information you'd add outside referral, and then you're gonna see this, see that total amount off the top of 25% referral is 4,000. You would see a deduction here of $4,125. It's going to lower my net amount. So that's where you would see that.
And all of this information, you would get that from the W-9 that you got from them.
Yep. And you'd be able to fill this all in with all the information that you needed from them. Every referral, anything like that, they're gonna know you need this information. A lot of times when you refer someone out to someone, a client out to someone, I usually get an email either from that office or from you saying, hey, can you send me a W-9? We send it to you and then you send it on to the office. So it's always, it's a very common thing. We have to have a tax ID number to pay them. That's gonna show up on your referrals. You're gonna go ahead and hit.
Wait, scroll down a little bit. So if you were to work with an agent inside the office, this is where you'd add them. So whether you guys worked on the whole deal or if they just did an open house for you and you were like, I'm gonna throw them $100, you would add them right here.
And that should be, if we select on that, that should be just, I think we could just start typing in a name. Yep.
Yeah.
Rick Brahma, Rick Bateson, we can put them in there. How much they're getting, you could also put in just a dollar amount. Or a percentage. You could go ahead and save that. That will also show up on your, I think it'll change to up here, won't it? Or will it change under other deductions?
Well, it'll add, so pay to agents, it would
Oh,
add Rick Brahma.
Yeah, would put his name underneath there. So, yep. And then you can go ahead and submit this. Always gonna come and ask if you want to make a donation. Okay, you could skip donations and submit. You could submit $10. Doesn't matter if I hit, no, because we're gonna just terminate this?
I would. 'Cause then that's gonna show up on our cancel.
On our terminated
Yeah,
transaction.
report.
So I'm gonna just like close out of all of this. You would submit this, and then that would show submitted. And then Lydia and I, or make sure pending.
I think it shows.
I think it shows submitted. We could actually see over here. Remember, this is my command and C. These are transactions that have been submitted. So these are people that have submitted stuff to be paid.
Yes.
So like, here's one for, you can see they're submitted and then it'll change to approve. But this is what your tab will look like. It'll show that it's been submitted and that shows up in our queue, Lydia and I's different queue. And now we know, usually that a check's gonna be coming and then something's gonna be happening on it. You're gonna be getting paid soon.
And most people submit this once they get the PA and everything's good to go. So if you see it sitting there and we haven't approved it, I'm just waiting till I get the check to go through it and approve it. So nothing's wrong with it if it doesn't get approved.
We just wait till we get that Alta and get it approved. When it's still sitting here in this status as kind of open, not pushing submit, you could go ahead and make changes on it. But until that time, you would need it to after it's submitted, you can't make any more changes to it. So that's something that's kind of new. Here's where you can go in. If you wanted to edit any information, change any information to the sales price change to so the sales price change to 525. Unit save changes. Oh, I take it I changed it to 5,025.
You put 52,000.
Change the price on it. Shows the adjustment in the commission, everything changes automatically. So you can go ahead and make changes. So that's that. You can get back to your documents from here. Get back to your marketing material. Here's the data, the details of the original listing that we created. All the information in here that you fill out, the better. Any more information that you can put in here, the better, because this is what's your CRM. This is your database, this is your system, this is where you do everything from. Timeline shows exactly when and who submitted what documents. So you can see Heather Knutson. Oh, look, it actually shows me going and, it shows me that I viewed them, submitted them. So everything can be shown through here from your timeline. If you have a question about, if you want to look back at anything, see what it was, any notes that you wanted to put in here. This could be any notes for yourself, any notes for us. I think we see these notes. But our notes are tied to, remember,
Yeah.
our notes are tied to here. Our notes are tied to here and adding the comment and then telling us what exactly you'd like to do. So. That's opportunities and commission tabs. How your documents work and how you get paid. How did that look to all of you? Chris, do you have any, you've done many of these. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts or?
I would just say, the first time I did my first transaction, I did not know there were different tabs like listed under contract and close. And it was for a purchase, so it looked a little bit different. So I just put everything under the same thing, and Heather, I think it was Lydia, she's like, well, where's this stuff? I was like, I just submitted it. She's like, you did?
And a lot of people do that. Like
A lot
on
of
the first
people
one,
do
they
that.
just put everything, and I'm like,
But
you do have to
but-
write it out.
for her sanity, and your sanity, you have to do that.
And
also-
probably BAPS.
Yeah,
And Matt.
and Matt will return it.
And
And it's easier, you know what, it's even easier for you guys if it gets returned by Matt. Then you know exactly where it is. You know exactly what
Yeah.
form, it's flagged, you know which one's wrong, you know what you need.
you're gonna get so good at this that, and I can speak from the spot that my last transaction, Matt didn't give anything back to me because I put everything in the right spot and had all my paperwork, so. But
Yeah, so you guys, you'll always have access to opportunity, at least for 7 years. Because you need to keep these documents for 7 years. It's a great spot to keep up, you know what I mean? It really is a nice, it's a command, it's a very useful tool and a very useful system. And it's all tied together with your contacts, with your marketing, with your opportunities, everything. So, yes, and once, if this was a real listing and it was tied to an MLS listing, all those photos would already be in all your marketing material, everything would already be done. So. And I think once, I don't know how it knows to tie with MLS.
I think it just takes that, like, whatever.
The address, the
minutes.
tax ID
Yeah.
number, or the property ID number. Yep. So, if any status changes you make in MLS, it doesn't change in here because it's go by MLS status, but yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Does it make sense?
Get my first lip band.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah. Well, Lydia and I are happy to help. We know opportunities really well. This whole thing here, we know very, very well. You know, Candy kind of specializes, I think we can help with contacts a little bit. I was saying Candy specializes with designs and the marketing and things like that. And Kelly's Willing is our, she's our tech ambassador. She can also always help with any of the website, the designs, the marketing and everything. But Lydia and I know the documents and the commissions tabs pretty well. So, and this is exactly what it looks like through here. So yeah, can you think of anything else or anything I missed, Chris or Lydia?
I didn't know you could take someone,
Oh, yeah.
where you, the note section.
Sorry, if you could take anyone.
And then it'll come up, you see that little bell by Heather's name up at the top right? That's where it'll show up. So I'll get a little notification.
Do you think I could clear those out being I have 565 of them?
Yeah, please do that, you're giving me.
565 have given me a note?
Well, no, it's because mine changed for a while where it was like so-and-so uploaded an opportunity. I was like, I don't care. I don't need to know that. So you just have to change your notifications.
Yeah, it's all your commands.
Phase change.
Yeah.
Got it. New compliance request. Okay. Okay, I'll clean that up before I have class again. But, and then this kind of shows, this is just your dashboard, which shows, if you had any listings under contract or appointment, you could just click on this and here are your listings that are in here. You could go ahead and take them and move them from phase to phase if you wanted to keep a better track of them, but this is your dashboard. This is just, you can have it either look like this or you can have it look like this. It's the exact same thing, just shown differently, but this is all of my opportunities. So you can come in here, see all of your opportunities and anything you need to find. You could click on any one of these, like the one we just did. I could click on it. Here it is bringing me back to my documents, all my basic information, all my marketing material, everything's here.
I'd say mess around with it, try to figure out a couple ways to do it, and then stick to the one way that you know how to do it. It's like a roundabout. There's a lot of different ways to get there, but.
And I also recommend filling in as much detail as you can. Because the system is gonna it's gonna work with you, it's gonna get to know you. It also, actually, when it used to be multiple offers and everything, you could put all your different offers in here. If you had 3 different offers, you could tell the difference between what the offers were. And even the system, I think, gives you their suggestion.
And it's important because if you wanna get like really nitty gritty with like your business, you go to what's the part of what the website where you can see your reports.
ikw.kw.com.
So if you're not like me and you move your stuff along the timeline, then it'll like track like, oh, you're
Sure.
usually only showing people houses for like 27 and a half days or
Yeah.
before they go on.
Yes, it will give you all those. If you put in
Mhm.
all that much more information, all those stats and details it's gonna give you. Do agents have? Yeah, here's a reports file now.
Oh, wow.
So this could show you also, your dashboards, your total records, your total leads, your total contacts. I mean, this has all this information here for you. Reports. again, show you all the statuses of all of your opportunities, everything where they are. But yeah, look at if, like you said, you're right, it give you your average volume. This will also show you how many opportunities you've done, what your potential income is with what you've put in there. So yeah, so there's now this reports applet. You can put your goals in here, how many contacts you want to make a day, how many appointments you set. You can go in here and you can do your goal setting. And this is where you could say, I want to make this many contacts a day, this many calls. This is where we go backwards with that original form that Kami goes with you with the MREA economic model. Shows you how many deals you want to have, everything in there. So you guys, if you play around with the command a little bit, the opportunity, the things that it can do are endless, but it does also have these reports. What Chris was referring to is, I won't get into a great deal, but it's called mykw.kw.com. And this is where it brings you to this, and this is where you can see a lot of reports.
That's another beast.
Yep. But tons of reports in here. This shows you all of your history, all of it, but there's lots of reports in here. And this is where numbers are power. And I show a lot more than than what you guys would have, but all of your information would be under associate. Shows your closed transaction listing summary, your income summary, your listing detail. That'll be all of your own personal information. So yeah. And I think we've done a reports class a time or two, but this is where everything is on your guys' side. I go back to opportunities. And I've always kind of like to look at mine like this. I don't know why, but I kind of like this list like that. So we're here to help, anything we can do. And this is, keep in mind, this is all required stuff to get paid. Unless you get a referral coming into you from outside, you'll always need to do an opportunity with all of your documents in there and have it approved for Lydia and I to pay you. And you have to have this commissions tab approved for Lydia and I to pay you. So this will show approved. It'll sit there in pending, but it'll eventually show approved. That will have to be submitted in order for Lydia and I to pay you. So.
Cool.
Is that helpful? Yeah, feel free to reach out to us anytime with any questions. We're happy to help and we're always here. And yeah, so I always like to say, just don't, if you're playing around and something's not working and you really need it, don't get stressed, just come to us.
Mhm.
Yep, you can call us anytime. Awesome, you guys, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I'll clean out my